that's true. Yeah, because we used to have our good
We are
good
live. We are live. Shalom, shalom,
intros.
family.
Yeah, that's a good, like you were just saying, we could do a nice intro using some of the content here. Get back to like our artistic, cinematic intros, okay? Since we have announced, but that's not what this video is about. This video is about the new king of the continent of Africa. Now, this person
I,
hasn't been crowned king of the whole continent, but
I say this
yeah,
before you say that.
keep going,
People have
sis.
to realize what's real. Like, and we always say it. It's so crazy how like we always say it's something bigger than what's popular. What's popular doesn't mean that it's the only thing that's going on.
Mm,
You gotta realize where you put your attention, where you put your
your
energy.
energy.
Like really, you really gotta think about. You really gotta protect your energy and where it is going to, because although everything's going on in the world, yes, you like for us. I know. Okay, we hear about this, but it's not like we stuck over here and just trying to just be stuck over here. No,
Mm.
you gotta really, because this is not time to play. You really gotta know what's going on and how the future is about to look.
Oh,
Like
speak.
people want to have a good future, but not be in the right future position.
How's that possible?
Like we always say, Africa is the resource. Everybody come here and get their resources in Africa. So it's a lot of things that's happening. That's what we kind of going to be talking about in this video. We're going to be sharing some videos, so stay tuned. And yeah, go ahead. I'll let you do it because that's my spiel.
Yeah, this video, I saw it. I've seen a few of them, but I saw this one in particular. And this is by the channel Esther Natu Kunda. I hope I'm saying that right. It's a sister in Uganda. She's a sister, and she did this video compilation of different countries in Africa, mostly West Africa, but obviously Uganda because she's in Uganda, looking, because remember, we're in the age of AI. We're in the age of information. We're in the age where everybody can see everything that's happening in the world
Knowledge will increase.
simultaneously.
Yeah.
And so, with that being said, Africa and young Africans are focused on this future that's ahead of us that is very bright, that is very beautiful. And it reminds me of the times when John McAfee was alive, where there was like this hope, there was like this, because he was standing up to the West. He was standing up and saying, no, I'm not going to do that. That doesn't make sense. Ibrahim Traore, same way. And the Most High has really just put a hedge of protection around this brother, to where they've tried to take him out. I think they're up to like 14 times and haven't been able to do it, and will not be able to do it, because now's the time. But you're going to see exactly what we're talking about when we play this video. It's going to give you goosebumps. You want to really sit intently, like if you're in your bed, if you're at your table, really focus on what's going on in this video that we're going to play, so that you can pick up on the symbolism and the words that are being said, the feelings that are being expressed. Exactly. Because this is a pivotal time.
I tell you, look, I was watching a video. You see right behind us, I was walking back and forth. It felt like I was about to go into a wrestling match or go into a football game. Like it was like, oh, yeah, I guess. And then this is how, our people should be moving in a way. I know there's, leaders and stuff, this and that. No, if we really want change, look, this is, you got to be dressed up like this. You got to be militant in these times. So, man, this just gets me excited. And yeah, all praise to the Most High that we are able to live in this time and witness what's going on. And yeah, we'll go ahead and play the video.
Yeah. Good? Yep.
Make sure you like the video. Leave your comments below, please. We really appreciate all the engagement, guys.
And let us know if you've seen this video as we're bringing it up. If you've seen it, say something. If you haven't seen it and you're like, oh, I didn't even know that this was going on right now, say that as well, just so that we can understand if you guys receive this type of news or not. Okay, so let's go ahead and get into this video.
Ibrahim Traore, the giant of Africa.
Details. World is shocked.
the president of Africa. Did y'all see him in Ghana?
And of course, the Wi-Fi went back up.
Ibrahim Traore received a lot of love in Ghana. That shocks the entire world. That why are people
You can use mine.
Bear with us, guys. We switch. Got anything to say while we do that?
So yeah, guys, we're going to switch the internet so you can hear the video. But guys, this is big. Share this, like this video, get this out. Stay on code with this news so that your algorithm will be dedicated towards news like this that matters, because these are the things that people all across the world are looking at. The West may not be looking at it as much, just average Westerners,
they looking at it.
But the actual people, Asians are looking at this, Africans are looking at this, Russians are looking at this because it represents a huge shift. Indians are looking at this as well.
Yeah, there's a couple videos in here where the Indians like, yeah, Abraham, yeah, good.
Because it represents everybody being free from the great British power. Because they colonized the whole world, which most people don't know.
celebrating a man who's just here to congratulate another head of state that is becoming.
Man, it was just working when we played it.
Resident.
He pulled the crowd. Everyone was on him. People were really happy. Listen, you know what? Ibrahim Traore is not only the president of Burkina Faso, okay, but he's the president of Africa. And this is the kind of president that we want.
Yes, you hear what she said. This sister is in Ghana. She said, this is the president that we want. Like all Africans across the continent are saying, yes, this is great. Standing behind him in solidarity. You're going to see later in this video, when he arrives in Ghana, it was such a shock. And no CNN is covering this. Nobody's covering this, but you're going to get it from African vloggers, not even necessarily African news stations. It's really the vloggers, the content creators that are filming. And this is why having content creators on the ground is so important. This is why being connected to Africa is so important. This is why watching content from African creators is critical. It's the best content that you can receive to understand what is happening, no matter what media is trying to say, what media is saying, oh, Africa is disunified. What are something else that's happening? And it's actually unity, not just in Africa, but unity that's reaching Russia, India, everywhere. So let's continue the video so we can see how disunified or unified things are looking.
Yeah. You got to search out the real news. And maybe with this TikTok ban that's about to happen in the States, because a lot of news and a lot of real news, put it like that, real news, be happening from content creators, like you was just saying. Like those are the real people on the ground, seeing what's going on, experiencing what's going on, and they might not want you to see some things that's about to happen.
They daggone sure don't. You could. That's a guarantee.
How many countries in Africa we have? 54. Yes, we want a president like Ibrahim Traore. When he's talking, you feel like, okay, the president is talking.
And also see how popular Mr. President is in Ghana. When he was introduced at the Black Star Square, he got the biggest applause. Thank you, my brother. Thank you very much. Yes.
All right.
I know you guys heard that. Like he got the biggest applause, and this is like that's like if when Donald Trump is being inaugurated and somebody else come in and they get the biggest applause. Just think about it like that in a way. That's a big stage that is in Ghana. The president of Ghana has been introduced as president, and he comes and everybody's chilling or cheering. Oh yeah. And it's like, man.
I want to say one more thing before we finish. What stuck out about John Mahama, the new president of Ghana, and Ibrahim Traore being together like that, being in brotherly unity, what stuck out was a unity between two generations that does not exist in the diaspora, but does exist in Africa, where you can see on their faces, you can see the spirit of both men. One represents the younger generation, one represents the older generation. One has just gotten power in 2022, Ibrahim Traore, for the first time ever. John Mahama has been in power before in Ghana. This is his third term, and he's breaking history with that. And so it represents this love and unity that we do not see with the African diaspora that has grown up in the West. And this is why we live in Africa, so we can live amongst humans who get this. Exactly. And can love humans as humans, who can love their African people as African people, who can love humanity and not have all of this dysfunction that you see amongst diaspora. I just want to make that very, very clear, because that's very symbolic.
Yeah, and it's an understanding right in that video where, you know, they were shaking hands, and if you know Ibrahim, he usually do fist pumps and stuff to people. He shook hands. And I believe later in the video, they was talking about it too. But another thing I want to point out, he said, my brother. He didn't say, hey, my son. He said, my brother. Mm-hmm. So that's very spiritual. Like
he's saying, we're right here. I may be older than you, but you're not beneath me. You are one with me. We are one. We just gonna get into the right, because it's so good. I could write a paper about this. Okay, I might have my son write a paper about it for real.
Yeah.
Like, I really might. Y'all know I love writing.
Yeah.
So when Ibrahim Traore came to Mohammed's inauguration, a lot of people asked a lot of questions. And the one that was being asked the most was that, why was he in his military gear with a pew-pew by his side? So I'm here to give you answers. So first of all, Ibrahim Traore is not a democratically elected president. He is a military ruler, meaning a lot of these Western powers does not recognize his rule. So any attempt they get, they can arrest him. That's why he always go everywhere with his military personnel. Secondly, Burkina Faso is no longer in ECOWAS. They are now in a new alliance called the Sahel Bloc, made up of Burkina, Niger, and Mali. And all those guys are military rulers. When the previous government was toppled in those countries, ECOWAS banned those three nations. They withdrew, they refused to go back, and they formed their own alliance. And I'm sure you guys know who control ECOWAS. So anytime they come into an ECOWAS nation, they can tell them to arrest these people. The reason why he went to Russia was because Burkina Faso.
Oh, really? Yeah.
It's the Russian ally in Africa. That was why he was able to go there. So because it's not a democratically elected.
Y'all see this? This is so wonderful. I want to point out the symbolism even right here. What you're seeing is the new president of Ghana, John Mahama, is wearing his traditional attire. Okay. Does anybody know what that could possibly represent? When the new president of a nation, does not put on a suit and a tie, but puts on his traditional attire. There's a message that's going out here with these photos that goes out to the entire world, mainly the West, that says Africa is under a renaissance. Africa is united. Africa is on code. African will return to the ancient path, and everything will be restored. That's the symbolism of seeing that in this way. When, typically presidents in Africa, they'll wear like suit and ties, especially when they're newly elected. But this, our wonderful brother, he has on his African garments. Okay, let's continue.
The leader, anywhere he goes, he's always on full alert. That is why he always wears his military gear. The president of Guinea, he was once like Ibrahim Traore, but his wife is a French, and now they are calling him a traditional president. I'll do a video about that later.
For those of you that don't know, the president of Ghana, a new president, was elected in Ghana, and he was inaugurated. And of course, one of the delegates that came to congratulate or to witness the inauguration was the president of Burkina Faso, Mr. Ibrahim Traore. Like, I speak about him with a lot of pride, because he is that one African leader that has literally not bent his tail to the whites to please them. And the entire continent, even people outside of Africa, they were like, Why do people love this man?
Yesterday, there was a renewed hope when it comes to Africa uniting. You know, for what you guys don't know and what you were not seeing, that there was something happening in Ghana. And the reason why Ghana is important when it comes to this Africa Unite, because spiritually, it's going to take Ghana, to start uniting Africans. It's the gateway of Africa. Ghana was the first country that got its independence. Ghana helped other African countries fight for their independence through Kwame Nkrumah. And so Ghana is like this place that is supposed to.
That's so true, especially when you look at African history. If you're someone that doesn't look at African history, you definitely should. Especially if you plan on living in Africa, you should know that the revolution back in the 60s started with Ghana and Kwame Nkrumah standing up and receiving their independence, working with leaders like Haile Selassie in Ethiopia, Julius Nyerere at the time in Tanzania, the first founding father of the country. That was like the good African Renaissance days that are closest to the modern times that we have now. So this 2025 represents that as well. This era that we are going into represents the strength of Africa coming back together. But this time, the actual Renaissance revolution will be so potent that the Western powers can't do anything. One reason is because automatically the judgment of the Most High is on them. These are nations that cannot even repopulate themselves. These are nations that cannot repopulate. Depopulation is hammering France, Great Britain, Spain, Italy, America. People are not replicating. And so if you just look at the commands, one of the first commands was be fruitful and multiply. When you're not able to multiply, your lineage cannot go on. And so it's a fight that Africa doesn't even necessarily have to fight. The Most High says that it's his battle and he's already won. It's already like once you can't repopulate, you're on a timeline of extermination.
Mhm.
It's just science. It's just fact.
Yeah, we literally, the fight that we have to do is within ourselves, so we can be in obedience to the Most High's calling. What you saying that, it just reminds me of when they was going into the land, and all Moses had to do was lift his hand up, and the nation and the community around him will help him keep his hand up, because every time his hand would drop, they'll start losing. So it's very, very important to just keep your hands high and just give all praises to the Most High. Like really, like you got to realize that that's the most important thing for our community, for our nation of Israel, of Judah, to really heal ourselves and be in a position so you can be in this awesomeness that's happening right now. Like really.
Be Africa's safe haven, right? But in the past few years, it was looking very different under an administration. So guess what? Yesterday, a new president was inaugurated, and Ibrahim Traore showed up. That was very, very significant. I don't think he's been to any other ECOWAS country, and it was significant because he doesn't just go anywhere. This guy's life is being targeted. Ibrahim Traore has become like the symbol of freedom for Africans. You should have seen the crowd, how excited they were for him. This is like a renewed hope. The vibe in Ghana is people are relieved, right? Because where former presidents.
Dialpad AI gets the science of sales. It won't actually clone your top seller, but it will code.
Takufado was taking us. In fact, a lot of things were happening that was not in line with Nkrumahism. And, you know, we don't want to come on here and say too much because you get targeted and all that. But you guys know what I'm saying. President Mahama, His Excellency. Oh, today I saw him with his entourage. I said, how did I miss this video? I said, Your Excellency, President Mahama. I saw his entourage and I was like, wow, people are happy, people are very hopeful. And that's this life that is coming back into Africans United. He's strengthening his ties with the Sahel, he's strengthening his ties with our African countries and his.
If you're wondering what is the Sahel is Mali, Burkina Faso, Niger, Chad, Libya. If you look at the African map, a map of Africa, the Sahel is right above like Congo, Ghana. It's that strip. A lot of it's desert land, but it's a powerful strip that has a lot of gold, a lot of resources historically, even oil. Okay, so that's what the Sahel is.
Speech was awesome. So it's a new day. It's a new day. 2025 is a new day for Africans. Let's fasten our seatbelts, and I'm in for the ride.
My رئيس بوركينا فاسو نايس ماي لوف والله أحبه جدا جدا أحبه بوركينا فاسو رئيس إنه أتابعه جدا أحبه وأحب شخصيته.
Leader John Dramani Mahama.
I don't know what that guy was saying, but he was happy. He was like, yes.
It seems like, and it's crazy how like you really got to step outside of America to realize that, you know, he was happy. He was genuinely happy. Mm-hmm. And then everything that happened in America, like you got to bear with me of what I'm about to say, because hey, there's no more coffee. There's no. So yeah, just from 2001, with everything happening with 9/11 and stuff, we look at certain people, and I'm talking about American people. We look at certain people and be like, oh, he's a terrorist. But when you come outside of America, you can realize that these people here is really not like that. So I know for some viewers, they might look at someone like that and be like, oh, he might be in Pakistan, or he might be in Iran. And it's like, man, our mindset, it's all about the mindset. And this is something that Ibrahim talks about. Like it's a mental battle, it's a mindset that everybody has to get over, because we've been trodden down, we've been beaten down with this Western society, with this Western mentality of, you know, this is how life should be. And it's totally the opposite. That's why we always encourage people to step out of the West system, so you can see how you should be living life, like really, because that's the most important thing.
His presidential inauguration was a historic moment. I can tell you that this is a new beginning of not only Ghana, but the entire Africa. And there was 5 solid, significant, historic moments at the inauguration that confirm what I'm telling you. The 2025 presidential inauguration that happened on 7th of January in Ghana, it felt like 1963 at Addis Ababa, when Kwame Nkrumah brought all the leaders together. Paul Kagame, the president of Rwanda, was there. William Ruto of Kenya was there. Felix Tshisekedi of Congo, Democratic Republic of Congo, was there. Ibrahim Traore, the president of Burkina Faso, was also there. So in total, 21 heads of state were present, and the rest sent their vice and representative in response to busy schedule. So in all, the entire Africa was there. So lovely people, let's unveil the 5 historic moments of this particular presidential inauguration. Number 1, it was a moment that brought African leaders together again like never before. Number 2, John Dramani Mahama became the only president sworn in for the 3rd time in Ghana. The rest, first time, second time you go. But this is the 3rd time he was sworn in. Number 3, we now have our first female vice president in the history of this country. And number 4, Captain Traore, for the first time, shook hands with an ECOWAS member. That is significantly loud. You can see that he comfortably shook hands with the First Lady also. This is a sign of trust, people. For the first time, ECOWAS shook hands with.
Y'all see that? He says this is a sign of trust. Look at these 5 historic things that happened with this presidency, this new presidency in Ghana, this new inauguration. a moment of togetherness. The only president that was sworn in 3 times, not talking about Ibrahim Traore, but John Mahama of Ghana. The first female vice president was actually in power in Ghana. And then the shock, he shook his hand with the Ikawas for the first time. This has never happened. Usually he's kind of like not trusting people, but for whatever reason, he trusted
AES. You know, he usually give the fist bump. And from the video, you can see Mr. Speaker received the fist bump, but Mahama received a handshake from Traore, a sign of trust and solidarity. Guys, at this point, you need to hit the like button. And number 5, for the first time, ECOWAS together with AES were seen under one umbrella at one particular event. Guys, this is wild. This is a sign of unity. You see,
Hold on, before you pay for yet another app to manage your team, let me introduce you to Connect Team, the one platform that replaces.
This confirm, or what this simply means is that there is interesting time ahead of us.
Yeah, it's very interesting times ahead of us, guys. Like we gotta realize what's happening right now. I know it's a lot that's happening in the West. I know it's a lot of things that's happening in the world, but what's the most important thing that they're suppressing, that they're hiding? Like really, they're hiding a lot of things that's going on that the masses should not be seeing right now. And if you are seeing it, you should be getting in the right positions in the next couple years, because this year that's coming up, or
we're already in the year.
No, we're not. This is not the new year. That's what I'm saying for us and what we believe.
Okay.
So the new year for us that's coming up, it's a very pivotal year. It's a lot of things that lines up with this year coming up. So you have to really be prepared. You gotta be in the right environment. We say it time and time again. You got to be in the right environment. You got to be on the right continent.
I would only be in Africa or Asia. I wouldn't be nowhere else on earth. I'll be quite honest. And that's why I'm not nowhere else on earth.
Exactly. Like really, really.
Just to be. And I want y'all to see this. We may have to skip a little, but there's a part here that talks about BRICS, BRICS, Brazil, Russia, India, China. It's very important because it's just that, y'all. When they're speaking at the Ghanaian inauguration, they start to talk about BRICS. Why? Guys, I really need our people to become more geopolitically aware of these different currencies, aware of what's happening, because the US dollar will fall and continue to fall. Dollar dominance is about to be deleted, okay? Y'all see that? Dollar dominance is about to be deleted.
That's like right here.
So we're going to skip a little bit because this part is important. Listen intently. And I know it's hard for people to focus in the age of AI and the age of 2025, but seriously, focus right now and listen to the language that's being said. We have if my husband likes to say, you have 2 ears for a reason. So that's why you should be able to listen more than speaking. Listen right now. Listen.
It's crazy that, like we just don't be saying stuff, and that's what it comes down to. Like for us, and this household, we just don't be saying stuff. We've been saying this stuff for, years, for going on 5 years now, and it's not us like trying to tell you guys this. It's literally the Most High working through us to share this knowledge, to share this information that is coming to pass, because we know that some land masses is going to be destroyed. Some land masses is going to prevail and be that land mass where everybody's going to be or get their resources from. So like we keep saying, Africa is the resource. Africa is the future. Africa is going to rise. It's not going to fall. And once us as a nation understand that we are the head and not the tail, it's literally the whole, it's just going to flip so quick. It's going to flip. It's going to be like, wow, it's no more tail. It's the head now.
this highlight confirm everything.
The world in which Ghana exists today, as I begin this presidency, is not the same world in which we have lived under other presidencies. There are tensions and conflicts that have not previously existed between nations. These tensions and conflicts place pressure on alliances to decide where we will support.
Now notice something. We are already dealing with the West. Mahama will not bring this conversation out if he is not considering otherwise. Now, number two, another clarification about whose side between the East and the West can help our economy. Is it the BRIC?
What?
Let it play some more.
Oh.
Or the dollar, the side which is declining economically or the side which is rising economically? This is between the BRICS and dollar conversation. And pulling this conversation out around all the leaders of Africa's present is thought-provoking. And to make things clearer, he gave two examples from G7 and BRICS performance. Watch.
Look, it's a wealth transfer that's happening. And if you don't do your research and understand what's happening, you're going to be left behind. Or you're just going to be in a situation that is so hard to get out of, because you don't need to be in situations. The things, like, everything should be simple. We make it difficult. You got to do your research. You got to understand the times that we are in.
There's a seismic shift happening within the system of global economic dominance. Whereas the G7 nations, United States, the United Kingdom, Canada, France, Germany, Italy, and Japan once provided the highest percentage of the world's GDP, over the last decade, that number has been steadily dropping. However, the combined total of the GDP of the BRIC nations, Brazil, Russia, India, China, South Africa, Iran, Egypt, Ethiopia, UAE, their GDP has been consistently increasing.
As a marketing consultant, there's no better way to stay connected with your clients and leads than with Honeybook.
In 2023,
y'all see that? Look, he said it. John Mahama said it. Let's look. There's a seismic shift. Seismic means enormous, gigantic. He's warning his people and the people of Africa. There is going to be a large shift that is taking place. We need to get in order and decide if we want to be with the Western nations or if we want to be more so with BRICS, which, by the way, the last letter of BRICS is South Africa. So by default, Africa is kind of more with South Africa. When you look at even Tanzania, Kenya, Mozambique, the Swahili Coast, that has always in historic times traded with China, traded with Korea, traded with the Middle East. This is just reality. America was a new country that had popped up on the scene in 1776, decided to kill millions of indigenous Americans, enslave millions of people, bring them to the Americas. But that time has come to an end. Like he said, there's going to be an enormous shift. Like he is pleading with his people in Ghana and the people of Burkina Faso and all the nations in Africa to understand the things that are happening. We are talking to our people and saying, listen, you also need to understand the things that are happening. Although you were born in America, born in Canada, born in the UK, born in Great Britain, born wherever that's in the Western society, you do not have to stay there and should not stay there. 100,000,000% hands down. The things that are coming to Western society, which you already see, you have the option to partake of or not to partake of.
Exactly. Like, really, make sure you leave your comments too. Let us know your thoughts, because it's like, man, this is huge. I see 33 people in the room. So make sure you like the video. Let us know your thoughts in the comments. And my brother was saying on the video, he said, hey, he would not be bringing this up for no reason. He's not saying this for no reason. So you really gotta pay attention to what's going on.
For instance, the G7's combined total of world GDP was 30%. But by 2024, by 2029, that number is predicted to drop to 27%. In 2023, the BRICS percentage of world GDP was 37.3%. And so what does this mean to us in Ghana? What could it mean to our economy? Where do we fit in this geopolitical maelstrom?
That's right. What this means is that if the G7 is declining and BRICS is rising, we need to go to the winning team. If you
He said he need to go to the winning team. Look, and you have to understand, like, the transportation too. They said Ethiopia and BRICS, South Africa and BRICS, and literally that is the coastline where a lot of transport goes around the continent.
Yeah,
So
and the entire world.
Like,
just to
really,
be honest.
it goes around down to South Africa and goes to the Pacific or the Atlantic. So you gotta, man, it's a lot of things that's happening. It's a lot of things that's happening. Don't be distracted. Please don't be distracted.
got it, lovely people, hit the like button and subscribe to the channel. Number 3, he tackled the media or narrative manipulation. Now, one thing you need to understand is that he pulled this out because he is aware of the media war against our neighbors in the Sahel. And then he answered the question himself by saying that we need to support and work with our brothers.
Technologies such as artificial intelligence has taken us to new heights, opening up the potential for national, financial, and personal security issues that we are not yet able to imagine. One example is the use of misinformation and algorithm manipulations on social media platforms to sway a particular group's sentiments towards or away from something. Now more than ever before, we need to strengthen our ties with our neighbors to ensure that we're working together to keep our sub-region safe. We stand in solidarity and work in alliance with all our neighbors in the sub-region.
Y'all, they are very awake. They are very on code. They very much are aware of what is happening. And this is the time for you to also be aware. The fires that continue to burn in California. Unfortunately, Altadena, California has also been impacted by the fires, which has like a Black population of 35 to 46% of African Americans. But as the West declines and as these things continue to happen, you do not have to go down with it unless you choose to. It's everybody has a choice in life. It's like, choose this day who you want to serve and be of service to. Because where your allegiance is, that shows who you serve, who your power is. If you stay with America, you stay with Western society, you stay with them continuing to bomb Palestinians, rape the Congo, cause destruction and manipulations across all African media, then you reap the fruits of that. But if you side with the people who have been oppressed, remember Yahusha says he comes back to visit the oppressed of the earth, not the 4% in America. The majority of the Most High's people are in Africa and have always been in Africa and the islands of the sea, as it says in Isaiah 11. We have to get out of this mindset that's like, oh, all eyes on America, America first, American. No, America represents 4% of the world's population. Understand that. So you need to ask yourself, if I was the creator, if I am trying to understand him and empathize with him, when he looks on the earth, is he saying I only care about North America and America because it's so great? Or is he also looking at what has happened to his Bantu people in the Congo? Is he also looking at what has happened to the priesthood in Ethiopia? Is he also looking at what has happened to the oppressed that were under the hand of apartheid in South Africa, Namibia, and Botswana? Is he also looking to see all of the sanctions that were placed against West Africa? And if you're confused about that, then, I don't know what to say, because it's very plain. It's very, very plain that America has caused sanctions war, all types of stuff. And we only know the things that they put out. Think about how complex the Most High is, omnipresent. He sees every single detail.
Yeah.
So you wonder why he says, flee the land of the north, get out.
Yeah, and
Do not become partaker of the plagues, because they will come down and burn you. They will come down.
exactly. And they, like, the media and stuff think that they can pretty much manipulate everybody just by saying they're half truths in media and movies and stuff. But you know, they kind of give you a warning of what could happen and stuff. And you gotta realize, like, hey, the Most High don't like what's going on. He's doing things for a reason, and that reason is to restore his chosen people. Um, and also, I wanted to say manipulation, right? And when manipulation happens, after manipulation, it's going to be distribution. And that caught my eye because I realized that just from you know, the charts and just reading the charts and having that um, technical analysis, it's always accumulation, manipulation, and distribution. So it's like, man, after this manipulation and people starting to realize what's going on, it's about to be a big shift of this distribution. And it's going to be Africa that's going to rise, like, really. So please, family, please realize what's happening.
Yeah.
Like, really just ask the Most High to help you see and help you be in a position, help you have the resources to get to the main resource of Africa.
Yep.
Yes. Shalom, family. We shall see Zion. Thanks for tuning in. But yeah.
I think that is it for this video. Thank you, everybody, for tuning in. Hopefully that woke you up, made you think, because, you know, uncomfortability is going to be your greatest asset in this time. If you're too comfortable, then calamity will come on you unaware.
Oh, that's deep. That's deep. So, yes. All praise to the Most High. Thanks for tuning in, guys. Make sure you like the video, share the video, and we'll talk to you in the next video. Shalom.
Shalom.